Number 2, fasting. Fasting is so beneficial for us. Our minds become so convoluted and twisted up and confused and full of junk by all of the things that we're processing, we're intaking through our eyes, through our ears, through our mouth on a daily basis, the things that we consume, entertainment-wise, food, our diet, our lack of exercise, our energy levels, all of these things can be benefited by fasting. It's very difficult to hear from God when we're so full of junk. It's like having an air conditioning filter that is so nasty.
Well, that filter ain't supposed to look like that.
And when you remove that filter, it becomes unclogged. It works the same way in the spirit. If our spirit is completely clogged up, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to hear from God. So we need to clean that filter out, change it, so to speak, so that we can remove the static and clear the excess stuff out of our lives so that we can have more of God pouring His Spirit into us, speaking to us, and we can hear Him clearly. When we remove things from our body, like junk food, sugar, chemicals, all of these things that cause brain fog, fatigue, nobody wants to pray when they're tired.
Are you kidding me?
When we remove social media, TV, news stories, we clear the way so that we can hear from God more clearly. And fasting is always for our benefit. It's not something that we do to earn brownie points with God or to please God. It's for our benefit. It helps us, crucifies the flesh so that we can have more of God, more of His Spirit, and walk in accordance with His ways. Some really great scriptures to study on fasting are Matthew chapter 6 verses 16 through 18, Isaiah chapter 58 verses 6 through 7, Joel chapter 2, 12 and 13, and Psalm chapter 69 and verse 10. I would highly encourage you to study Isaiah 58 because this is the kind of fasting that God desires. You know, the Pharisees were really good at dotting every I, crossing every T, buffeting their bodies, restricting food, but God was not pleased with them. Why? Because He says, this is the kind of fasting I desire. Isaiah chapter 58 verses 6 and 7. Sharing food with the hungry, opening your home to the homeless, setting the captives free. So not only do we need to make sure that we are hearing clearly from God, and we can do that by restricting our flesh, crucifying our flesh, but also we need to make sure that we are putting others above ourselves, being servants of Christ, servants of other people, helping them, clothing the naked, feeding the poor, helping the homeless. Doing all of these things are pleasing to God. You know, in James, it says that the kind of religion that God finds faultless is to help the orphans and widows and keep yourself from being polluted by the world. Also, fasting actually sharpens your spiritual gifts. You will be able to see more clearly in the Spirit, hear more clearly in the Spirit. You will have more wisdom and discernment. Your prayers will be more effective. The Bible says the prayers of the righteous availeth much. So the more that we walk by the Spirit and don't gratify the desires of the flesh, the better we are able to hear from God and therefore draw closer to the Lord. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this.